here in the kitchen and I just made some tea and I wanted to share a little tip with you right now. So let's say you wanted to make a tea or a tonic or some kind of herbal concoction for your friends or family who may or may not be in to this kind of thing. So anything that's going to taste weird or anything that's going to be, lots of weird barks and mushrooms and who knows what, they're just not going to be into it. So then what do you make for them? Well, I'll show you something I just made which tastes absolutely delicious. So basically here it is in the teapot. It's Schizandra berries, Goji berries, and cinnamon bark, which you can see here of Schizandra, Goji, and cinnamon. So basically all you do is take about a handful of each of those herbs, throw them in the teapot, and cook it for about 30 to 45 minutes. Usually about a half an hour because these are all short cook herbs, so you don't really need to boil them that much. But what you're going to end up with is a really sweet, delicious tea that by itself you don't need to do anything to it. So for someone who's not into herbs or not into anything that's bitter or medicinal tasting, this is a perfect blend for them to try. And they'll even, experience probably an energetic shift. Maybe they'll wake up a little bit or calm down, or the Schizandra and the Goji are both adaptogenic, so whatever a person's at, it's just going to balance them out. So it's a good way for someone to taste something that's obviously very healthy and very good for them and is herbal and is going to have long-term cumulative health benefits, but also tastes good and it's not weird because everyone knows what cinnamon is and everyone's familiar with a berry. Everyone's seen a berry before, so it's not that much of a leap for someone to say like, oh, it's just some berries and cinnamon. That's easy. It's just a really good introductory thing for someone to get into. And it's a really good thing for you to share at, social events to where, people aren't going to be into like reishi tea or like a really dark, thick medicinal brew. And it's just going to be too much for them. So this is really ideal. So what I did is took about half a liter, 3/4 a liter of water and heated it up, brought it to a boil, threw in the Schizandra and the Goji and the cinnamon bark, and then I brought it down to a simmer for about a half an hour. And now we're left with this nice, when you pour it in a cup, it's going to be like a pink, purple kind of a color, which isn't going to be that scary or intimidating for most people. If you pull out something that's like black and like really thick and dark, it could freak them out. So I know like Thanksgiving and Christmas is coming up, and for a lot of us who don't, eat the normal Thanksgiving fare and maybe want to expose people to new things, this is a perfect thing to do. And it's also an excellent base for any kind of elixir because the tea is already so sweet and delicious that you don't really need to add any honey or any sweetener to it at all. You can just, throw in a couple of your powders and be set. So again, it's just Schizandra, Goji, and a little cinnamon bark, and cook it for about a half an hour, and then you end up with a delicious, sweet-tasting tonic tea that's going to have, tons and tons of health benefits from the Schizandra and the Goji and the cinnamon bark. But it's also going to taste good, and it's not going to make you look that weird, because that always tends to happen when you're like, oh, check out this mushroom, and people are like, I don't know what that is, it's kind of strange, and they don't really want to get into it. So it's a good introductory thing to expose your friends and family to. So try it out and let me know what you think.